Thank you for joining us with Frankly Speaking the News. Just another data point, which is incredible that he was able to walk away from that and had the courage to put his fist up and say, fight, fight, fight. And there were many of his enemies that claimed that that was an incitement to riot for his group to go after people. I just don't get it. Again, we're drawn back to the question, why the vitriol and the hate? So it's very interesting. Now, you'll see here the motorcade arrives at the hospital.
Who's that? Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, we're front row, and my friend saw blood coming out of his head. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. He's walking. He's walking.
Okay, now as we look at what's going on, we want to go to witnesses. Witness A here. One of the most reliable things, while witnesses can get things wrong, many times they get it right more accurately than anybody else. Forensic evidence is important, forensic details, data points, all these things are very important, but witnesses' testimony is really critical because it uncovers things that you may not have seen. There's nothing better than an eyewitness. So we're going to start with witness number one here.
He killed the gentleman in the water tower here. Now, when I called my husband at home, who was watching TV, he said, I thought Trump hurt his ear when he went to the ground. But he said, no, on TV they showed before Trump hit the ground, the ear was bleeding. So, that sharpshooter went across, Trump turned his head, his ear must have been nipped, and it killed somebody in the stands over to the left. Could you see anyone injured besides the blood on the former president? All I saw was the gentleman from Beaver County who spoke earlier in the day. He was running for the state house representative, his name. He had a white shirt on. I saw him come from that left stance where the people were mostly shot. I think there were several. They said 3 medevacs left here. Blood was down the right side of his. He wasn't shot, but you could see that he was next to somebody who must have been bleeding profusely because he either helped them and rubbed against them or tried to get them help or something. It was covered. So I knew that he was near somebody. That was my first indication that somebody was actually shot when I saw his blood on his shirt. Aaron, when did you realize that this might not be fireworks, this might be something else? When they got Trump down on the ground. We were just so concerned that he wasn't hit because we couldn't. It happens so fast, it's really hard to process it. I guess if you have your camera to see the exact minute, you can tell. But when he got out, he did not look. He did out here. Now they feel that there was 2 shooters on both sides. So they got the one on the tower on this side, but the one on the right side they never got. So that's why they wanted us to leave immediately.
So what she's hearing as an eyewitness and testimony on site is there's 2 shooters. One from the wooded area and one from the water tower. The third shooter was from below the AGR building in the staging area for the Secret Service, the Butler PD, and the state police department, if they were involved at all, those agencies. So it's fascinating. So she's getting confirmation immediately right after this event that there are 2 shooters, one in the water tower who apparently got shot and one in the wooded area who got away.
Because they thought there's still a shooter out there somewhere. But it could be in these woods around Butler. I feel sad for the country. I feel sad for everybody, you know what the guy, don't go for him. Don't kill him. We love the guy. We're gonna do, you know, I mean, what about his violence? I mean, it's just terrible. I just wish that people that, I'm glad that guys know they're with us anymore now. And I hope they get the other one too. I don't think I don't think he's done.
Okay, so that's pretty fascinating. Let's go to witness B.
And we couldn't call them. And so we started trying to get after them then when they finally let us out. And again, we couldn't call them. And so we started trying to get after them then when they finally let us out. And they had been right by the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence. And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do now, again, we couldn't call them. And so we started trying to.
This is a second witness confirming the water tower.
First crack of the gunfire, and I just screamed, "It's the sniper! It's the sniper!" And he was firing down toward the water tower.
That's what we're hearing.
And yeah, and then that same exact.
Third witness corroborating a water tower sniper. Based on what she's hearing from people, not only in the crowd, but people shooting.
Moment there was a spray from the right side of the stage that I thought was some type of gas, like, or not gas, but smoke.
Sure.
You know, lined up front. And he said it was, he heard it was gunfire.
Wow.
A few minutes later, there was a couple more shots down the hill, and that's when they started flooding and pushing everybody out. First crack of the gun.
And then he put the fist bump up, stay strong, and they walked him off. Aaron, what was going through your mind? What did you think when you first heard those sounds? I thought, Sidney, what you just said, I thought it was fireworks, 4th of July, it's been pop, pop, pop. That's what it sounded like. Gentleman behind me, I was one seat, he was to the right of me, he could see the sharpshooter on the behind truck. He said the sharpshooter shot to the left. He killed the gentleman in the water tower here.
Okay,
Now,
so we've heard this already. This is another vantage point. Now here we go. Here's what she's claiming. Water tower towards Trump, the ARG building, and then somebody from the woods. Okay. All right, so let's go to witness C.
Aiming at the trees. If you look to our left,
my eyes on you.
Secret Service quickly erupted. You can see the snipers on the building behind the podium, aiming at the trees. If you look to our left, there are trees in the distance, and that seems to be where the gunfire is coming from.
Now, if this was a coordinated military style assassination attempt, intelligence agencies that were involved, you would have more than likely a minimum of 2 shooters, more than likely, especially if it's a high value target, 3. And it would make sense that the wooded area sniper team would take out or attempt to disrupt the Hercules counter sniper team by firing right over their head. The other thing is, in the wooded area, if you had a sniper in the wooded area on a tree stand, it would be the most secure place to escape. Somebody in the water tower would have very little chance of getting away. It'd be very difficult, and more than likely somebody on a rooftop. So, but if you had somebody underneath the AGR building in a little sniper's nest throughout one of those windows, and you had the patsy up top on the roof, that would be the guy that would take the blame for the shot. You had the guy on the water tower that would actually make the kill shot. The guy from the wooded area would take out the Hercules counter sniper team, or at least distract them so they could not take a shot at the guy in the water tower. That might buy the guy in the water tower enough time to take the one shot and get out. So let's play this as it goes on. There you go. If it was indeed an institutional government sanctioned assassination attempt, this would be the most likely scenario because you would want to ensure success, 100% success. You can live with the fallout. You can bury the story. You've got the media on your side. You've got a complicit and compliant media apparatus. You've got control of the Department of Justice, so you can control the investigations. What you would have to be short of was 100% success. I'm not saying that this is what happened. It's speculation. It's conjecture. I would love your thoughts, your comments on in the bottom in the comment section. Like and share the video and subscribe. I want to remind you guys to do that. Let's hear this. By the way, John Cullen does a fantastic job. He put this all together. Full credit to him. Dave Stewart was a character that was running all around the campground there, the rally grounds. And he got a lot of information. He spotted the shooters, and let's see his testimony.
Okay, George Webb, second shooter video. People say, where do you get the information from? Directly from the police. Here's Dave Stewart, the guy behind the tree, second shooter, blood in the bathroom later on. How can that be if there's not a second shooter? I say the first shooter is actually Europe going down the side of the building, bleeding and leaving a bloody transfer stain on the side of the building. But here it is, second shooter. It's right on the radio, the township radio, right on the township radio. Dave Stewart right there recording it on the township radio. Second shooter, blood in the sink. Second shooter, blood in the sink.
And security and the other guy with the long gun moved us over to the township police car to take cover there. The door was open and we could hear the radio communications. And they said, shooter dead on the roof. And then they said, we breached the building. There's blood in the bathroom. We could hear the radio communications. And they said, shooter dead on the roof. And then they said, we breached the building. There's blood in the bathroom. Second shooter on the loose. So, because like if the guy climbed the building and shot from there, like how was there blood found inside of a bathroom inside that building? How was there blood found inside of a bathroom inside that building? How was there blood found inside of a bathroom inside that?
Now, to be sure, that's an interesting question, but there is commentary by the ESU and some of the members in the building that an operative hurt his hand. We don't know how, but he hurt his hand. So that may be factual and it may be the truth. It may be an operative. It may be something else. All this is conjecture, but Dave Stewart, he was around everything that happened. So this is pretty interesting. So again, one more data point to add together.
That building. So there had to have been a second shooter, right? That got shot or something. So there had to have been a second shooter, right? That got shot or something. So there had to have been a second.
I think it's safe to say that the evidence lines up that there was multiple shooters, at least two, possibly three.
Shooter, right? That got shot or something.
Now, here's where some of the conspiracy comes in with Yeardrick. Okay, the question is, if there was multiple shooters, and not only that, how did Crooks get in this position? So here's some information on the Yeardrick family. Roger is Maxwell Yeardrick's dad. He worked on the collapsible AR-15 for the Navy at Cardrick Navy Surface Warfare Center that was used by Crooks and Yeardrick at the assassination. FBI is hiding that from you. When Roger completed his enlistment and moved to Maryland, he returned to his government job. Roger and Sid were both employed by the Naval Ship R&D Center in Cardick, Maryland, and they retired in 1996. Business name is Yurdik Roger GL. Here's some of the information. And apparently both participated in competitive shooting and have traveled around the country entering numerous competitions. So Yurdik and his father were involved in competitive shooting. We'll get more on Yurdik as we move along, and his family ties. Let's see here. He also has ties to Antifa.
your mind.
This video shows Maxwell Urich being taken to jail. Investigators say he tried to fight an officer who had just been pepper sprayed. All three are charged with assaulting police officers and rioting outside of Donald Trump's event at the convention center just after 7:45 last night. Cooper and Urich are also charged with resisting arrest. It all happened minutes after Trump's speech wrapped up, and all four officers were treated on scene for minor injuries.
Yeah, that's a little bit of information on him. Here's more on Yurdik and his family.
Let's go over what I had talked about in Monaco Township and this team from Monaco Township being here in sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4 fashion. One is the picnic table, the bike. Two here, you see me zoom in on the picnic table. That's where we know Crooks is at 426-3. He's a part of a sniper team. He's either this blue team of 2 or the green triangle team of 3. The other 3 members are going to be the surreptitious shooters and door guarders, if you will. We want one patsy to go.
Now, Crooks did have a bicycle, apparently. They're not sure if it was his or not, but there were 2 vehicles parked outside the rally area, a van full of explosives with a remote trigger. And we'll get into that a little bit later, which denoted quite a bit of sophistication with a remote trigger that never went off. But they were able to find that in his hip pocket when they found him on the roof dead. And we'll share that information and show it to you as we go forward. But according to George's hypothesis, he was part of 2 teams, possibly 3, that were involved. And they did get a picture of him sitting on a picnic bench about an hour prior to, timeline might be off a little bit, that they were able to share with law enforcement. That was actually one of the law enforcement officers that took the picture from the 2nd floor on the roof line, below the roof line, where they had the window vantage point that was looking down upon where he was perched. They got a picture of him in a picnic bench before he scaled up to that building.
Go out in a very obvious way in front of a bunch of people. 4, which is going to be getting on this Home Depot roof. The other 2 people of the team are going to guard this building they're in currently there, that where you see there currently, the blue square and the green triangle. 2 people are going to guard that building, the entrances in that long hallway. And then we're going to make a surreptitious approach to the sniper nest. So if you get this, here's the very obvious TMZ video. These are the 3 sniper posts that we're talking about. This is where you have all these people seeing Crooks on the roof. This is what you want. You want to make sure your patsy is very exposed. You want to drill your patsy on. Here's where you put the Home Depot ladder. You want to be very obviously climbing in front of a bunch of people. The patsy thinks as he's climbing up here, he's part of the team and he's joining the other sniper. The other snipers,
By the way, erroneously, he's wrong. The Home Depot ladder was brought as one of the ladders by either the Butler PD or somebody after the event and was placed. So that photograph of that Home Depot ladder was after the event, not prior to. So people speculated that that ladder was used to scale the roof. It was not.
going through this building. I say it's Uric. I say it's Maxwell Uric. And he's ascending the other side. You see these continuances or hallways in between the buildings. That's where he's going around. So here's the building from above. You see where the snipers leave their posts. That's key information, key metadata. And it comes around here to this SWAT ladder. Of course, now people are saying I made this ladder up or I'm lying about this ladder. It's in the pictures. The Capri Shorts guy comes up and shows all the cops the ladder after the shooting. This is where the door is, where one of the shooter team is guarding the door. So you got one shooter on one end of the door, one shooter on the other. That makes it a protected corridor. And now Uric can go back and forth here for a protected escape. You see, you have the Home Depot ladder over here in the lower left corner. That's your obvious place where you're having the patsy. And then this building, this long building here, building 5 behind, is your protected corridor. And again, you put one sniper on one end from the Monaco Township team, you put one on the other end. That's your protected corridor for both Uric's approach and also Uric's escape. See, he comes up here near the other breezeway or entryway or continuance between building 5 and building 6, and he's right where the shooter position is. That's also going to afford him a protected escape. You want to make sure that the patsy dies on the roof. You want to make sure all energy is directed toward the patsy, and then you want to make sure that you have a protected escape. We're going to go back out the same way we came through this protected hallway. And then we are going, now here you're going to see the video that just came out about Copenhagen. Again, you want Copenhagen, you want these videos to be showing the patsy. I'm not saying Copenhagen's involved, but again, anybody who's filming is going to see the patsy. You're not going to see the protected approach or the protected escape. Here it is from the other angle. You're also going to see from the counter sniper teams, that's where Copenhagen's film was taken from. You're going to see that we have the abandoned posts, right? We have the portal views of the abandoned posts. We have witnesses there. Again, we have this obvious film, right, that we want to throw out to everyone saying, look at him, there he goes, right? This is the patsy. We want the patsy to have these films. We don't want the protected approach or the protected escape to be filmed. We're going to have an orgy of evidence around the patsy. And of course, we're going to have a protected surreptitious approach and retreat by Uric. Again, we're going to protect both of those doors on building 5 behind. Again, everybody's going to be watching this video. It's the Lee Harvey Oswald thing. Let's lift the Gargano amongst all the reporters. The reporters all take the bait, and everybody misses the Robert Allen Hale escape, where that sign's being raised right now. Oh, look at it. We caught him. There it is. No, here it is. If you look here again, this is the back of the building. That's where the SWAT ladder is. That's where the Capri Shorts guys goes. None of the other cops after the shooting knows where that ladder is. The Capri Shorts guy comes around. He's a Monaco Township shooter team. He comes around and shows them where the ladder is. That shows you that this long building here, not the first building Brooks is on, the second building right there is where he comes up. That's where the backpack is found, if you remember. And then Crooks is shooter right there. All you have to do is alert and say, hey, we have a situation. Do your drill. You've drilled him already. Go up the Home Depot ladder, wait there for further instructions. Now, when I get in position, in an enclosed, obstructed position, I command you to come over and get in the exposed position. Again, remember, these shooters abandon their posts, right, during the critical period. That's the period when they have to guard the doors in this building. And that's the period where Maxwell Uric has to make his run through this building, the protected approach. That's also going to be the building where he's going to use his protected escape. So in both directions, again, this is not speculation. These snipers do abandon their posts, right, during the critical shooting period. They're tying up.
In fairness to George, he is correct and accurate on that point. The snipers did abandon the post. They went out apparently to look for Brooks when they were given the text with his photograph sitting in the picnic bench. So they did abandon the post. At that point, he'd already made his way up to the roof. and the shooting began. So this is a fact.
Not be accounted for. That's critical metadata, right? This is not something that hasn't been confirmed. It's been confirmed by Chuck Grassley. These shooters did abandon their posts. They're the most logical.
So that begs the question, if all three of them abandoned their posts, the question is why? You have PD walking around the area, easily get on the radio with PD or notify them. Why would they abandon those posts right minutes before, literally 1 or 2 minutes before they were moving Trump on stage to begin his speech?
People to be guarding the doors. And then also Europe again is going to make this run. This is the corridor. If you see this red arrow, not the building 6, that's where you want the patsy to be. You want your approach and escape to be through building 5. And we have video of that now with those cameras, and you can see down that long corridor. We know that those doors were locked because we saw those guys coming up and knocking on the doors. And you saw a watchman looking to basically guard the door. Again, here it is from the above view. You've got this long building 5 behind. You have the snipers leaving their post. That's your metadata. You've got the approach through the building to the ladder over here, the SWAT ladder, and then you have the protect and escape. I've gotten so much. This was in Monaco County, if you remember. This is why I go to Monaco County or Monica County, because Greg, I didn't know Greg was the head of it. I just was going by Sheriff Tony Guy. But Greg Nickel is the head of this team. And he has a clothes change during this operation, which is amazing. He's also the one who says, I'm out of here. Again, here it is from another angle. You basically go back around here through building 5. This is the CBS. This is the shooter line, if you will. Notice how the Uric escape is obstructed from the sniper teams. Both Hercules 1 and Hercules 2 can't see this. It's easily observable from the water tower. If you're looking at it from this angle, you could easily observe Uric's escape. That's why there's nobody on the water tower. That's why there's nobody on the water tower, because Uric's escape would have been easily seen. We also have this Green Mile video where you actually have Sheriff Tony Guy of Beaver County walking the Green Mile. This is what you do when you're about ready to execute somebody, the Tom Hanks movie. We literally have Sheriff Tony Guy walking the Green Mile right here behind the shooter, behind the patsy, which is Uric. Not Uric, excuse me, which is Crooks. So here's Sheriff Tony Guy walking the Green Mile. 50 feet in front of him is Uric. Here's the patsy. Excuse me, here's Crooks, the patsy walking the Green Mile. This again is, see how tall he's gotten and how long his hair is now. This is why you're not seeing any recent pictures. This is why you got to go back to those 3rd grade, 4th grade pictures. They don't want you associating the video from the video taken of his approaches and movements earlier on. They just want you to have that 426 video of him sitting at the picnic table. They don't want you to know that he moved inside the building. Inside that building 5 building was a part of the sniper team. Again, we know this because these are the folks that abandoned their posts. Again, one out by the bicycle, that blue dot, purple dot, and you can see here I am in Monaco County saying, hey, this is where the van got dumped. Again, if I have to get...
Now the van, there was a white van that he utilized that he was driving along with another vehicle and the bicycle. Why the 3 vehicles later proved that the bike may not have been his, but the 2 vans, the van and the vehicle actually were his. One was loaded full of weapons, not weapons, but explosives. And that was later dumped over there where he was talking about.
A whole team out of here. What better way than abandoning the van and bringing it back to my own jurisdiction? And remember, the snipers abandoned their posts, right? That's your first metadata. Protected approach, protected retreat through building 5. That's the other thing. The unmanned water tower view that couldn't possibly be in any world unless you were trying to protect that. You have the TMZ video of the patsy. You have the TMZ video with Home Depot ladder. And again, the snipers leaving their post is the best metadata you could ever have. And people calling me and saying I'm a liar because I'm pointing out the fact that the ladder was there is your other great metadata.
So as we begin to continue through this timeline, I want you to see how the data points start to add up